Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm saying hello to all my Drew tubers out there, which I don't have any yet, but hopefully soon. Today, I'm going to take this knife. If you remember from another video where I made an attempt at sharpening it, which it is pretty sharp, uh, I'm going to make a leather sheath for it. So stay tuned and check it out. All right, so we got a piece of leather cut, and I'm just going to do a rough trace around this knife, just so I can kind of get the feel. Of So now what I'm going to do is roughly get I'm going to make this a little bit longer. Now these lines here, these lines these don't have to be exact, but basically it's going to be one piece that's coming like this. I'm actually going to build, I don't know where it is. I changed from what I said I was going to do about doing a taco fold over, and I'm going to do one like this where it's layered. And we're going to basically try to do something like this again. It's almost about the same size, it's just not as wide. So let's get started to cutting that out. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so I got started right here. We're going to come across this side, and you just So I made the initial cut, and then I just bend my leather to get it to go through. I picked up this leather at Hobby Lobby. I didn't order anything online. It seems to be good enough quality for me to make a sheath out of. The other sheaths that I made with this leather happen to be really good. Alright. That's enough of that tedious stuff. We'll come back when we get a little bit more of this done. I got this piece cut out. So as you see, the knife is going to fit right in there. Like so. And then, once we finish this up, this back piece is going to come down and I'm going to stitch it into the back like so. And that will be my belt loop. I'm going to put a snap right across here that will secure it in place. So now what we need to do, and I can't remember what they call it, but basically we're going to be putting another piece of leather very similar to what you see right here to build this up. And I might end up doing two pieces because the handle on this is pretty thick and prominent. So I don't know if one will be enough. There's quite a space in between. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two of them. So let's get those things drawn out, and once we get them drawn out, we can cut these pieces out and start forming this stuff. Okay, so we got this part cut out right here, and what this is this is going to be a filler, and it's going to basically go almost the same as what this line is. So the blade has a nice pocket to rest in, and as you can see, it basically will fit just like so. This part is going to be cut out of here, and the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to use this tool here. I can't remember what the name of it is. It's been a while since I've done this stuff, so but the way that it works is you line up your edge and this puts a score right down the edge. And you can see how that scores it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my little razor blade. I'm going to cut out this middle piece, and this should fit right in there, just like that. We'll see how good I do. Let me get this cut out. I had some X-Acto knives. I don't know where they went. So we're using these. And they don't have as good of control. Try from up here. So we got this piece cut out. This is going to fit right like so. And I know this looks rough, but trust me, once I put it on the belt sander, this will all even out. And then the knife goes right like so. I'll probably cut this part off right here. And I think I'm going to do one more to make it a little bit thicker. So for this second piece that we're going to put in there, it's going to be a little bit easier. I'm just going to line this up right there. And that's all I have to cut out. So let's get that done. Okay, so we have both pieces that are going to go in the middle. Next, we have to get the outside, which I'm going to cut out of this piece right here. And we're going to get everything set up, and I'll come back and show you that. I got the back piece of this leather right here, and all I'm going to do is just kind of trace around here, and this will be the part that goes on the front. Voila. We'll fill in this little spot right here. And we will So as you see, I got the first cut in. We're going to finish cutting this out, and then we're going to try to stack all this stuff up. We'll come back in just a minute. So we finished up. We got all the pieces other than the snap, but I'm going to do that later. But we're going to put this all together, stack it up, and once it's done, we'll have to dye it and stitch it together, do a bunch of stuff yet. We got a long ways to go, but so far so good. I think that's all for tonight. We'll finish this up tomorrow. Hey, what's going on? It's day 2 of making the leather sheath. Right now I have glued together the 2 pieces that go in between the back side and the front side of the sheath. I have this glued together. I ran out of these little clamps. I used to have more of them. I don't know where they went. But we're just waiting for this glue to set, and then I'm going to take it to a sander and try to trim it up and get it to be kind of even, at least on the inside. I'll worry about the outside once the whole thing is put together. So that's where we're at, and I'll be back when this glue is set. Okay, so as you can see, I took this off and it's glued up. I'm going to now use this on my Jet 2x42 belt grinder, and right now I have a gator grip on it, and I'm just going to take this and slide it through and run to get the inside of this. I think it's called the felt. I don't remember. I'm going to look it up before the next segment, but I'm going to run this through. I kind of did a little bit and just get this so it kind of matches up. Like this side is kind of all cattywampus on it. I'm not going to worry about the outsides right now. I'm going to wait until I have the whole thing glued together and stitched before that happens. So let's just check this out, huh? This is going to be a little loud, so I'm only going to do a short segment before I turn off the video. You don't want to hear all that. As you can see, this thing's pretty loud, so I'm not going to keep it going. I'll show you the finished product in just a minute. And you see this right here on here? This is a little bit of surface rust because I had a hole in my roof when I was gone on the road, and I had to come back. And right now, as I'm waiting for the materials to put a new roof on my house, I just have a big tarp over it to keep the rain out. But that should be taken care of, I'm hoping, in the next couple days. Anyway, we'll see you in the next segment. Well, I finished this. The inside is fairly even. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect because nobody's going to see it anyway. But the inside is done. And I'm going to glue it up like so on here, and the knife will fit just like that. If you remember, I had these little pieces on here as well, and I cut those off because they were getting in the way. So, but I'm going to go ahead and glue this up and make sure that everything fits okay, and then the next part will be to take and put the top piece on like so. We'll get all of those glued, and then I can start working on getting the holes for stitching and getting the stitching completed. So let's get this thing glued up and go from there. Well, we got the innards glued on here. I'm going to let this set for just a little while yet, but this is going to set on here, and then we're going to end up putting our top piece right over that. And if you look at it, and I didn't do the best job, I spaced it out a little bit, but this is a model 001, so I put that in. And then DB, that's my trademark, that, or not a register one, but that's my logo. That's what I put on the stuff that I make. So I think it should look okay once we get it done. I found some dye and a bunch of other things to finish this up. Once we get this glued up, I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes, so that way we can get this stitched up, and then we'll put it on the sander, so that way we can get the edges nice, and we'll end up dyeing this whole thing. So stay tuned, we'll be back.